Hey folks, Zac Shaw here for Red Chip Poker, and today I'm at the Sands Casino playing a little 1-2. Gonna meet up with some of my other red chippers and get into some action. I'm gonna tell you all about it, tell you about the hands I played, hopefully telling you about the money I won and not lost, but either way, it's a learning experience. We're studying to beat 1-2 no limit. Hey Red Chippers, so through the magic of time travel, we are at the end of our 8-hour session, longest session I ever played, and I'm going to get into all the details of the session when we get back to the hotel and I can break it down a little more, but we're down somewhere around $200, set over set toward the beginning of the session. I'm going to get way in depth on that hand. Otherwise, I feel like I played pretty well, played the B+ game, maybe even A- sometimes. Alright, so the morning after, you saw the update from the casino. Wish I had more exciting news to tell you than down 197, but I gotta say I haven't had as much fun, or maybe fun isn't the right word. I haven't had as fulfilling of a time playing poker, or as productive of a time, or I feel accomplished, and I'll tell you why. Because I played for 8 hours. I played an 8-hour session almost straight way through, didn't even stop to eat, and this was thanks to a suggestion that Chip Extractor made in the forums, where he talked about setting time goals instead of profit goals. And we've been kind of shifting our goals as we've gone through this whole strategy in action series. We started out with a bankroll of $1,500, trying to build that up to $6 grand. Then we kind of moved on and said, well, this is going to be more about the fulfillment of just doing it, of, you know, playing poker, enjoying the social aspect. And now it's kind of morphed into somewhere in the middle, which is these time goals. And I did set a goal coming down here that I was going to play for 8 hours. This is by far the longest session I've ever played. If you've been following this, you know I play about 3 to 4 hour sessions, which is insane because I drive like 5 hours round trip to come down here and play. So I really felt like I was able to hold my own, play pretty well throughout the whole 8-hour session, and it just feels really good to know that I can hang and play for 8 hours straight and, you know, not make blunders and actually, you know, pull off a few really cool moves. Obviously I have a lot to work on and to get back to studying. I haven't studied a lot in these last few weeks because I've been doing a lot of red chip work, red chip interviews in particular, that have really taught me a lot. So it gave me this sense that I was learning a lot, and I did. But I need to get back to the theory, to the strategy, and, you know, start plugging away at some videos. Keep working on the hand reading lab, which I'm kind of in the middle of. So we did this 8-hour session, and my promise to myself is to, before my next session, study as much as I've played today, or on this trip. And I played 8 hours yesterday. I'm going to go back to the casino and try and grind back up to a profitable trip here. We'll see if that can happen at, you know, 10 o'clock in the morning with a traditionally nitty crowd, but you never know. So the other thing I wanted to talk about was the hand in particular that kind of did me in, which was set over set. And I won't break it down step by step here, I'll do that in the actual article. But what happened was I had 9s and essentially got it all in against kings on a king 9x flop. And I realized that if I had stuck to my original plan, I would have probably been able to put my opponent on exactly kings and folded the set. Now I'll never know for sure, because something happens when you get that middle set. Your brain just starts to go, oh, okay, I'm going to chip this one. This guy's got ace king, this guy's got, there's a flush draw on the board. But it's funny because after I played that hand, I immediately thought to myself, well, I just lost $300, but this is going to be the perfect hand to break down for strategy and action, and in particular illustrate why not only is it important to plan ahead, but it's important to stick to your plan. And I realized that you know, I still have challenges with actually having a plan every time I play a hand. And Persuadio had some great advice. He said, go play a session, and, you know, you don't have to knit it up necessarily, but try and be totally present in each hand that you play. You know, really plan ahead. Really say, okay, here we go. I'm going to play this hand. I'm planning this out. I'm going to take a little extra time making my decisions, and really be in the moment with the hand. And even if, you know, you don't win or you make a mistake, you're so present and aware of what you're doing that you're going to be able to really connect with your mistake in the post-analysis and correct it. So I did a little bit of that, but I played for 8 hours. I definitely had periods of time where I was just playing poker, and I would get into some spots and I'd be like, oh, I really wish I had planned that out better. But more often than that was getting into spots where I was like, man, I had a plan to do it this way. And usually when I say I had a plan, not necessarily I'm sitting at the table saying, okay, well, I'm going to now do this, that, and the other thing, and I'm thinking this pre-flop. But I've done work away from the table, and I said, okay, in these situations, I'm going to do this type of thing. And I betrayed that, and sometimes it just works out because you get lucky, but I had plenty of times where it didn't work out. So that's going to be one of my resolutions going forward, is to try and make sure that I stick to the plan. It should be easy, right? But it's about awareness and just being conscious of the situation. Other than that, had a great time hanging out with Fausto and Chip Extractor down at the Sands, and the story of the night was definitely Fausto. He was sitting on a stack of over 4K at 2-5, played a big hand, like a $1,700 hand, and we were all kind of doing circles around his table checking out his massive stack. He's been having a really great month, and I got to interview him for the Red Chip Poker podcast a few weeks ago, and that podcast will go live a few weeks from when this video comes out, and I really recommend you tune in because it's a really fantastic snapshot of a guy who is just ascending from 1-2. He's now in 2-5, and he's just absolutely killing it at 2-5. He tells me he's going to 5-10, so we'll see about that, but definitely one of the star Red Chip members out there. Chip Extractor did not do too bad himself, cashed up, and we got to sit at the same table for a while and talk poker, so we got to live that poker social life we've been talking about, and it definitely made the trip a lot more fun to be able to not, come down as a solo poker astronaut, drive down by myself, play poker by myself, leave by myself. So, we talked about home games at the table. I'm really excited to be restarting my home game in, a month or two, and so that'll add another angle to the strategy in action coverage here. That's basically the summary. We're going to try and now go back to the casino, run it back up. That'll give me about 10-12 hours on the trip, and then between now and the next time I go, we are going to be studying for at least that long, and the next strategy in action will be very much a strategy in action. So, for Red Chip Poker, this is Zac Shaw. Keep running good, and I'll see you next time.